Just to reset the scene, Pete Van Weer and Steve Jones at Chicago Stadium, Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinal series between the Philadelphia 76ers and Chicago Bulls just around the corner. And we're going to give you just a sense of what it's like to be in this building and how intimidating it can be if you're the Philadelphia 76ers. Listen to the way the Chicago Bulls are introduced. Here's Ray Clay, the public address announcer. It is noise you can literally feel here at Chicago Stadium. Here are the lineups. First for the visiting Philadelphia 76ers. It's do or die for them tonight. Barkley, Mahorn, Jaminski, Hawkins, and Dawkins. You've already seen the 5 starters tonight for Chicago. Stacey King starting ahead of Scottie Pippen tonight. Our officials for tonight's game: Jack Madden, Jess Kersey, and Paul Mihalik. And we are set to go for Game 5 in this best-of-7 set. The Bulls win it. They meet Detroit. Philadelphia wins it. It goes back to Philadelphia. And the Sixers will have a chance to score first. Dawkins matched up against Paxson. Looking inside for Barkley. Barkley draws the double team as he has throughout this series, and that has given him some problems. They find Hersey Hawkins open. It won't go for him. Rebound Rick Mahorn. Mahorn going over King. That comes up short. Mahorn pulls it away again. Going back to the basket, and the ball stripped away, but it still belongs to Philadelphia.
You can see Mahorn is banged up and he's coming out limping already, but he's going to give it everything he's got. Got bad ankle, got the bad knee, but he realizes it's a do or die situation. They need a big effort on the board. He's a guy that can help them in that area.
Dawkins was banged up early in the series on an ankle problem. I got in the way with a travel there. Jaminski will launch one. That won't go. Barkley clears. Sixers have controlled the ball for almost a full minute and finally get 2 points out of it, as Charles Barkley drops the jump shot.
The key, of course, is to control Charles Barkley on the boards. And anytime you give a team 3 and 4 shots at the hoop, you're going to get burned.
Grant couldn't get it to fall. Mahorn pulls away the rebound. Philadelphia has gotten every rebound in the first minute and a half of this game. There's the double team coming over. Jaminski picks up the loose ball, puts it home. Mike Jaminski with his first 2. He is shooting the ball better. Did not shoot well at all in the Cleveland series or in the first game of this series. Stacey King runs right past Mahorn. Couldn't get it to fall. Another Philadelphia rebound. Now to Charles. Charles Barkley with 4. It's a 6-0 run to open the game for the Sixers.
This is the kind of start that the Sixers needed to have. They certainly wanted to put some pressure on the Chicago Bulls, let them know that they weren't going to cave in early.
So a 20-second timeout taken right away. And here are the keys, Steve, for the Sixers winning here in this tough building.
I think the middle really is the biggest one. Since this is such a real tough place for opponents to do business, you've got to have some poise and you've got to have some patience. You know the crowd is going to be against you. You might not get some of the calls, and you've got to really dominate the glass. And if they do that, they have a chance of getting out of it.
They have opened up with a 6-point run here.
you'll see that Barkley does what he does best, which is to rebound the ball at the offensive end, has plenty of time, puts it in. Barkley on the other end, he can finish as well as anybody in the NBA, just drops it down.
A 6-0 run on the scoreboard, 5-0 run in the rebounding department. Chicago has missed 2 shots. After the 22nd timeout, they try to get organized here. Paxson working against Hawkins, and a foul, or Dawkins rather, and a foul will be called against Johnny Dawkins.
You work in baseball. I want to keep you in your environment. There's a no-hitter going out here somewhere. We'll find out whether it lasts. The key for Chicago has been the guys that have played secondary roles, and if they can get Horace Grant involved, that makes a big difference.
They just did. He gets the Bulls on the board with his first 2. It's a 6-2 Philadelphia lead with 2 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Red right now, single coverage on Barkley. Now he draws the extra people. Comes back to Mahorn. Down to Jaminski. Jaminski comes up short. The rebound is pulled away by Bill Cartwright. Cartwright clears it out to Paxson. Paxson has Dawkins on him. Comes down low to Stacey King. The shot partially blocked by Jaminski out of bounds.
The best way, to beat the double or the triple team is to move the ball before it actually gets in place and have people cutting to the hoop. We see Stacey King got double teamed, the ball was blocked.
Michael gets involved and gets 2 more. He is averaging 44 points a game in this series. Quickly down the other end, Dawkins going up, got fouled. So the first trip to the free throw line will be that of Johnny Dawkins. Stacey King committing his first.
Even when you give help with Jordan, because he has that ability to move the ball around, it's tough to keep him from getting a shot away. That's an off-balance shot, but he makes a lot of those, and when they go in, they're all great shots.
Dawkins has been averaging about 15.5 points a game in this series.
I think that Dawkins has to have a very attacking posture for them. He's got to look to penetrate, make some things happen. That can break down the defense of the Chicago Bulls, get them some easy scoring opportunities.
He makes 1 of 2. It's a 7-4 Philadelphia lead, 9:20 remaining in this first quarter. Scottie Pippen is back with the Chicago team, by the way. Michael Jordan's jumper won't go. Rebound battle for, still kept alive, and there's Michael trying to save it. He does inbound, but into the hands of Hersey Hawkins to Barkley. Barkley all alone for 2.
Charles Barkley.
Barkley has 6. Philadelphia's 9 points. They lead it by 5. Scottie Pippen missed game 4 due to the tragic death of his father, but he is back with the ball club today, not starting. Stacey King starts in his place. But he will see action. Traveling violation call against Bill Cartwright.
The Chicago Bulls have been a team that's been able to come from behind, and they've done it with some aggressive inside play. Their bench has been extremely important for them tonight. They've got to shoot the ball well, and they haven't done that so far.
Rick Mahorn's jumper hangs on the rim and drops for him.
Rick Mahorn.
Mahorn's first 2 of the game. It's 11-4 Philadelphia. Michael changed his mind about the shot. Paxson has it. Scottie Pippen getting ready to check into the game now. Philadelphia 5 out of 10 from the field. Chicago only 2 out of 7. There's Michael. 3 out of 8 now. Jordan has 4. It's 11-6. Sixers by 5.
Right there with Hawkins coming to the basket. He gets the foul from Cartwright. But when you see the double team, you want to recognize where that player is coming from. Try to find his man, get yourself a good opportunity. Jaminski does that. Hawkins gets 2.
There's Scottie Pippen checking in for Stacey King. Hersey Hawkins will be at the line. That was a problem Philadelphia had, Steve, in the first game. They were finding that open man, but the guards were the open man at the time, and they weren't hitting the jump shots. They shot only 6 of 26, the Hawkins-Dawkins combination. But their shooting improved as this series went on. Hersey Hawkins on the board.
Hawkins and Dawkins both know they have to make their perimeter shots, but they also have to attack the basket. That's what Hawkins did the last time. That gets those interior people, Cartwright, Purdue, those kinds of guys in foul trouble. Makes it easier for Charles Barkley to operate inside.
Hawkins makes them both his first 2. It's a 7-point Philadelphia lead. Closing in on the 8-minute mark in this first quarter. Jordan looking inside.
Want to try to get Cartwright involved if he can, so he's trying to find Cartwright against Mike Jaminski. Gets the foul outside.
And Bill Cartwright has not had a particularly good series. First foul called on Kaminsky. He's averaging only 7 points a game. And that's one reason why they're looking to him early tonight, trying to get a little more involved. Jordan for 2 more.
Jordan is also do his job and keep his team close. While everybody else is struggling, he has been sensational.
Johnny D on the other end. His first field goal, he has 3. It's a 15-8 Philadelphia lead. 7.5 minutes remaining first quarter. Percy Hawkins, who has had some assignment this series, trying to guard that man, Michael Jordan. Jordan has 8 of Chicago's 10 points.
The nightmare with Jordan is when that perimeter game is on, you can't really come up on him because he goes by you. Kaminsky misses close. Barkley.
Charles Barkley with 8 points of his own. And that lead back up to 7. Barkley hasn't missed. He's 4 of 4 from the field. Jordan to Cartwright. Cartwright will go to the line this time. Rick Mahorn got him. We've got a timeout. 6:51 remaining in the first. Philadelphia up by 7.
Michael Jordan is trying to keep his team close as they're down 7 to Philadelphia, and one of the ways he's done it is to shoot the ball over the top of the defense. For Percy Hawkins, he's got to get in a more aggressive and challenging position, and nobody challenges the board better on the inside than Charles Barkley. Barkley can dominate the glass with his mass and strength, and certainly has made a difference for Philadelphia here early in the ball game. They have dominated the rebound story 7-3.
And it's one thing Chicago has not been able to stop in this series. Barkley's averaged 18 rebounds a game in this series. He has 2 of their 7 boards tonight. And as play resumes, it'll be Bill Cartwright on the line.
That's a nice problem to have, though. When you have Michael Jordan, and he's 4 for 5, and the rest of your team is 1 for 5, and you're only down 7, and you know how he has come alive in the 4th period of play, you can't feel too bad if you feel Jackson.
That's right. He's just getting warmed up. Cartwright gets his first point. There you see the numbers on him. Down a little bit in points and rebounds from what they really wanted out of Cartwright in this series. They're going to him early. He gets his first 2 points. It's a 5-point Philadelphia lead, and a little bit of pressure applied now by Chicago.
Now, Philadelphia did not handle this pressure well when they had that huge lead, and one of the reasons is they don't attack. When you attack a press and you keep the ball in the middle and look underneath, there are a lot of holes. Barkley trying to go against Pippen.
Now we get an illegal D.
Illegal defense,
That's the
Chicago.
first
Warning.
a warning.
24-second clock.
And a fresh 24 goes on the shot clock. 6:36 remaining in this first quarter. 17-12. Sixers up by 5. Dawkins with Paxson guarding him.
Dawkins trying to use his quickness and go by Jim Paxson and make something happen. Percy Hawkins wide open.
Percy Hawkins.
Dawkins with 4. And that lead back up to 7. Over it comes to Scottie Pippen. His baseline jumper won't go. Kaminsky gets another Philadelphia rebound. Dawkins front court thinks the open jumper won't go, and as they battle for the rebound, they're going to stay right there. This call going against Scottie Pippen.
We have 2 different kinds of dominating players out here. You'll see Charles Barkley's inside and using his strength, and you'll see Horace Grant trying to body him out, trying to keep him from getting that ball. He knows once he gets it in there, there's a good chance he's going to score or get fouled.
They called it on Grant, not Pippen. Hawkins taking the jumper way off the mark. Rebound pulled away by Grant. Grant off to Paxson. Paxson front court runs the Chicago break to Michael. Nobody finishes the break any better than that. 10 points for Jordan. It's a 5-point Philadelphia lead. Philadelphia is somewhat limited in the moves they can make in this series. Derek Smith's been unable to play. He's a question mark tonight. The starters have had to play a lot of minutes. Johnny Dawkins hits the jump shot. He has 5. And that lead is 7-point lead again with 5:15 remaining in this first quarter.
Of course, part of Chicago's strategy is to make the guard beat them, but with that kind of time, Hawkins and Dawkins should have a field day tonight. Horace Grant.
Wide open. His second basket, 4 points for Grant. 21-16, a 5-point Sixer lead. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the first. Here comes the help on Barkley. He gets it over to Dawkins. Dawkins launches one, wouldn't go for it. Pippen had the rebound, lost it. Michael Jordan comes away with it, off to Paxson. Mahorn back. Paxson tried to go around him, couldn't. And a loose ball foul as they battle for the rebound. That's Sean Pippen. His first. And the team's fourth.
His first, the team's fourth.
The officials thought this was the kid with the narrow head, and it's John Paxson and not his brother Mike. They thought he should have got a call here. He doesn't. The call goes against the Bulls as Scottie Pippen comes over the back.
Down it comes to Jaminski. His jump hook
Mike
goes.
Jaminski.
Mike Jaminski with 4. Everybody has scored for Philadelphia. They lead by 7. Barkley has 8, Mahorn 2, Jaminski 4, Dawkins 5, Hawkins 4. Michael's been most of the offense for Chicago. Trying to get Scottie Pippen involved, and he drew the foul from Charles Barkley. That'll be Barkley's first.
Philadelphia personal foul, 34, Charles Barkley.
Team's fourth.
The team's fourth.
And at the line will be Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen at the line, he shoots 2.
The strength of Philadelphia's game is with their inside scoring, particularly with Charles Barkley. That's not the story for the Chicago Bulls. They'd like to get some points out of Cartwright. Certainly, they feel that Horace Grant can score, but both of Grant and Pippen will get more of their points outside in than inside out.
Pippen hits them both. His first 2 of the night. Lead cut back to 5, and again some backcourt pressure applied by the Bulls. Mahorn looking like a shooting guard himself there. Except the ball wouldn't go for him, and Michael Jordan comes away with a rebound. Launches one, trying to get Scottie Pippen, and Pippen didn't read him. The ball comes back to Philadelphia.
Now, whoever Pippen's man is, they've got to go to the basket because there's a shot available. He's the double team. This time, Mahorn gets that jump shot to go in.
Mahorn with 4. That lead back up to 7. You see the time left in the first. Philadelphia now 11 of 21 from the field. Chicago 7 of 14. So Philadelphia has taken 7 more shots. Cartwright along the baseline. That's his first field goal. He has 4. The lead continues to seesaw from 5 to 7, from 5 to 7. Philadelphia trying to get it back to 7 here.
Coaches go a little crazy when you gamble and you don't have any help, and that's what happened for Mike Jaminski that time against Cartwright. Tried to make the steal, left him naked at the basket. Shot clock at 5.
Barkley trying to make something happen, almost lost the ball. He's going to have to force a 3-pointer to beat the shot clock. It's a shot clock violation because that ball came up empty, and Philadelphia is going to take a timeout here. The Sixers leading it 25-20 with 2:55 left in the first.
Will stay close in this ball game despite the double teaming of the Chicago Bulls. And what the double team does is make you make that extra pass and force someone to take a shot they're not comfortable doing. This time, it's a medium-range jump shot from Mick Mahorn. He gets it to go down. Charles Barkley against the shot clock. He wanted to make that move. The ball got away from him, aired it out. Shot clock violation as Jordan catches the ball. That's the kind of defense they like to have against Barkley. Keep him out on the perimeter where he can't chase a shot. If he misses and put it back in.
First player off the bench for Philadelphia tonight is Ron Anderson. He is in there for Mahorn. Got right across to Michael. Scottie Pippen moves into the paint, takes the short jumper and hits it. Pippen's first field goal. He has 4, and the Bulls have cut Philadelphia's lead to 3 with 2.5 to go in the first. Paxson guarding Dawkins.
Jordan doing a great job of making Hawkins work for that ball. Forces a turnover right there, so he wasn't prepared to handle the pass. Rolled right off his leg.
Only the second turnover of the night for the 76ers. 25-22 Philadelphia. Chicago can tie it up with a 3-point play here. And it comes to Michael.
Near steal Hawkins, and Jordan decides to pull the trigger deep.
There's a rebound for Cartwright. Cartwright puts it up in a crowd, gets it back, had it punched away. Pippen loose ball. We're inside 2. 4-3 Michael. Ball still rolls loose. Jaminski comes away with it. Outlet pass to Barkley behind the back. Stolen by Jordan. Jordan starts it up the other way. To Scottie Pippen. 2. It's a 1-point Philadelphia lead.
Jordan with 2 big defensive plays at the other end gets his crowd on their feet.
Inside to Barkley. Barkley now with 10. That ends a string of 6 straight Chicago points. 27-24. Minute 10 remaining first. Around the pick set by Cartwright. Around it again. Into the paint. Fall away jumper. Goes to Michael. He has 12 in the first quarter. It's a 1-point game again. Under a minute to go in the first. Michael now 6 out of 9 from the field. Jaminski backs in against Cartwright.
Mike Jaminski.
He has 6. The lead back to 3.
Jaminski is most comfortable facing the basket, but with that much time, he's going to be able to go with his left or right hand. Got that shot to go against Cartwright.
Pippen tries to drive again and succeeds again. He has now scored 8 in this first quarter. And the Philadelphia lead a 1-point lead. Sixers have led all the way here in this first quarter by as many as 7.
Cartwright, man, is a double team. That means Jaminski is going to be open if they can get the ball back to him. Ron Anderson.
He was open. It's his jumper. His first 2 of the night, a 3-point Sixer lead. Bulls will play for a final shot here in the first. Paxson tries it. Won't go for him. Barkley the rebound. Barkley gets to midcourt. He launched it in time, but it won't go for him. So the Philadelphia 76ers took an early lead and have not relinquished it yet. We have completed 1 quarter of play in Game 5. It's Philadelphia 31, Chicago 28. Pippen getting it over to Armstrong. Armstrong, one of many bench warmers who has given some valuable minutes to Phil Jackson. Grant was held on the way up.
Philadelphia personal foul #1, Scott Brooks.
Scott Brooks committing the foul his first. At the end of tonight's game, Steve and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game.
Are you going to wait that long to tell everybody in the world that I'm the only guy that now picked the Lakers to win?
No, I've got to get you on that. I've got to get you on that. Scottie Pippen got hammered by Thornton. Pippen with a chance for a 3-point play. And a chance to get the Bulls back to within 2.
We talked about guys coming off the bench. Now, we really can't call Scottie Pippen a reserve or a bench player, but he has come in and given the Chicago Bulls a huge lift. Grant.
It winds up being a 4-point play. And it's a 1-point Philadelphia lead. Michael trying to steal the inbound pass, saved by Hawkins. Brooks against the pressure, having some problems. They do finally get it across the line to Ron Anderson along the baseline, and he's fouled on the way up. Grant got him. That's the second on Grant. And no, Steve, I'm not going to let you forget your pick of the L.A. Lakers over the Phoenix Suns. And neither is anybody else as you look at this replay on the baseline. Walking into the building tonight, you had 6 different people stop you.
It's like I'm the only guy in America that now picked the Lakers. As we take a look at Jordan harassing. Defensively, Jordan has been very intense. You see Thornton makes a great pass ahead. Now, that's what you want to do against a pressure defense because you're going to see there's plenty of holes down there as Anderson picks up the rebound.
Ed Neely, who was a big hero in Game 3 of this series. Checks in. Horace Grant sits down. Both of them made by Anderson. So he's got his stroke down. He hasn't missed yet. 35-32. Philadelphia by 3. 10.5 to go in the first half. Scottie Pippen looking for Michael. Finds him. Michael is left uncovered. And you never win when you do that. 14 points for Michael Jordan. Chicago back to within 1, but Philadelphia has still not surrendered the lead.
With Barkley out of the ball game, Scott Brooks launches a 3. Hawkins has really got to step up this game at the offensive end.
Chicago can grab the lead for the first time. Michael trying to do it big time. Neely battles Mahorn for the rebound and comes away to Hawkins. Hawkins over Michael. Yes. Percy Hawkins with 6. Now the Sixers have that lead back to 3.
And notice how much daylight there is between Hawkins and Jordan. There's no way that he's going to have a chance to control him, particularly when the stroke is as sure as it is from the outside. He's got to try to get into him a lot more and turn him one way or the other. Now, that's easy to say, particularly when you're sitting over here and you pick the Lakers.
That's a little easier when Stacey King comes over and sets a pick like that for you, too. Hawkins almost lost it, got it back. A whistle before he went up. And a foul is going to be called on Stacey King. Want to remind you that tomorrow night, more playoff action on TNT. Game 6 of a series. It's been a dandy. Portland, San Antonio, double overtime win for the Blazers last night. Take a 3-2 lead. Hawkins couldn't get it to fall. Rebound, Scottie Pippen. Over to B.J. Armstrong. Brooks is on him. A 1-point Philadelphia lead. Chicago trying to get the lead for the first time tonight. Stacey King cannot get the field goal to fall, but he will get a chance from the free throw line.
They got Stacey King in the draft, and the idea was to develop him so that at this kind of a moment, he would pay some dividends. We saw it in game number 4 when he came in and gave him 21 points and played a huge ball game along with 7 rebounds. He's looking to be aggressive at both ends of the floor to make something happen.
Barkley coming in, and Michael Jordan sits down now for the first time. Craig Hodges is coming in.
Hawkins goes down, Barkley comes in. That changes the look of the Philadelphia 76ers. Anderson should go to the backcourt.
Now that was a terrific performance by King in game 4. That was the one Scottie Pippen was not here for. And King filled that void, as did Ed Neely. King, though, has not scored yet tonight. 0 for 3 from the field, and he misses his first free throw attempt. This one would tie it up if he makes it. He does. Chicago applying some more of that backcourt pressure. Ron Anderson gets it to Thornton. Thornton across to Mahorn. Almost stolen by Hodges. Almost a foul by Hodges. Anderson's baseline jumper. Boy, he's got that stroke of his going. He has come off the bench for 8 quick points, and Philadelphia up by 2. Pippen. Pippen with 12. We are tied at 39.
Thornton is the guy that's handling the ball under pressure. Brooks goes in and draws a whistle. And he really has a pretty good idea of where to put the basketball against the pressure so that they can get it to him without having to put the ball on the floor. He has a great chance to make a good pass ahead. You'll see Anderson find Thornton, who looks ahead to Mahorn. Now down on the wing, the defense has to retreat. That leaves Ron Anderson down in the corner, wide open.
Scott Brooks at the line. And he misses one. That's unusual for him. He's a good free throw shooter. One of 2 Sixers on the court out of Cal Irvine. Bob Thornton also played there. The Anteaters. Brooks makes 1 of 2, his first point of the night. Sixers have the lead back. Chicago again with a chance to take over the lead for the first time tonight. They've had a couple of tie situations. Pippen much quicker than Thornton. Gets right around it.
Where has Scottie Pippen improved in his judgment of what he wants to do and how he wants to do it? Last year, he would have pulled up and probably shot a jump shot in that situation. Gives him a little hesitation. He's right at the basket. He's 6 of 7 since coming in the ball game.
And the Bulls have the lead for the first time tonight. And it goes to Bob Thornton underneath. That one wouldn't fall. There's battle for the rebound. The ball belongs to Chicago. 7:42 remaining in the half. 41-40. Johnny Dawkins coming back in. Brooks sits down. Mike Jaminski comes back in. Thornton sits down. Bynum wants Thornton back in there.
He was supposed to get out of the ball game. Jaminski was not at the box early enough, so Thornton has to come back in.
And B.J. Armstrong brings the ball down for Chicago. Picked up by Dawkins as he reaches the front court. Getting a little more physical underneath away from the ball. Pippen has Barkley on him now. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Not very good judgment that time, Steve, but there's King. Stacey King with his first field goal. Gives Chicago a 3-point lead. Foul's going to be called on Scottie Pippen.
Pippen trying to get deep into the interior is really forced to take a tough shot at a real tough angle, but there's King back on the glass, and the reason it happened, you get the double team. His man was the guy that left him. He gets a chance to get to the basketball uncovered.
Now Jaminski does get into the game. Dawkins. Looks for Charles. Barkley has Neely on him. Nice pass to Anderson underneath. Ron Anderson with 8 in the quarter, 10 in the game. A 1-point Chicago lead.
Good ball movement, good personnel movement, an easy opportunity. The 76ers are not a real good passing team. That was one of their best chances.
Pippen got around Barkley, lost the ball, but right into the hands of B.J. Armstrong. Right back to Scottie Pippen. Pippen's on fire with 16 points. Bulls lead it by 3, and the Bulls went from being 1 down to 3 up with Michael not in there. Anderson has not missed. He is 5 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. It's a 1-point Chicago lead. Neely sets the screen for Hodges. Drills his first shot ever. Greg Hodges with 2. Lead back up to 3. And the way we're going, we're going to have one of those 130, 125 kind of ball games here. Ball still belongs to Philadelphia. And a timeout being taken here with exactly 6 minutes remaining in the half. Bulls up by 3. It is 47-44. Chicago leading Philadelphia with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Pete Van Weren and Steve Jones back with you. Interesting in the second quarter, Steve. Normally, when Michael Jordan sits down, they'll sit him down with a 10-point lead and hope that maybe it'll be a 4-point lead when he gets back in there. Other way around in this one, with Scottie Pippen putting on the show he is in the second quarter. Chicago went from 1 down to 3 up with Michael on the bench.
Pete, Scottie has been very aggressive in attacking the basket and making some things happen for his team. Right here against the defense of Charles Barkley, he hooked a little bit, but got away with it. You see him wipe his hands off. They're dry now, and he puts that ball back in. He has been very active at the offensive end of the floor, and a lot of good things happen, and really has kind of ignited Chicago into be more aggressive, playing a little bit harder at both ends of the floor. They picked up the pace, and now they have control of the ball game with 6 minutes to go here in the second period.
And, of course, if it gets to another one of those fourth quarter situations where Michael has to explode like he has in the past, he'll be fresh. He's been on the bench for quite a few minutes.
A bone-crutching screen by Mahorn against B.J. Armstrong. He was practicing that. Good thing we were sitting down when we were doing the open.
Yes. And now Michael Jordan has checked back in. You can see how Chicago's rebounding has improved in the second quarter. Will Perdue on the court now for the first time for Chicago. He has had 2 big games for the Bulls in the playoffs. One 15-point effort against Milwaukee, one 10-point effort. Ron Anderson, the man on fire right now for the Sixers. 12 in the quarter, 14 in the game. He's 6 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. It's a 1-point Chicago lead.
He has been the story for the Sixers off the bench, and they need someone like that who is red hot from the outside to really take some pressure off of the inside defense of Chicago.
Now 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Hodges for 3. Perdue missing the offensive tip-in. Anderson pulls it away to Dawkins. Barkley looking for Jaminski. They want him to go to work on Perdue. He does. And Jaminski has 8. And the Sixers have the lead back with 5:05 to go. King was blocked the first time, fouled the second time. Rick Mahorn, second personal.
No pressure on Charles Barkley allows him to pick the spot where he wants Mike Jaminski to get the ball. Good deep position. Gets his first opportunity against Will Purdue to grow in. And when you get a chance like that to score on a first or second year player, you feel like you can get it going all night long. We'll see if they come back to that King at the line.
Makes his first one. He's now 2 of 3 from the line. We're tied at 48. This one put Chicago back on top. The Bulls up by 1. As a team, Chicago now 7 out of 9 from the free throw line. Dawkins gets around Hodges. Basket is good, and he got fouled by Craig Hodges.
Since the Philadelphia 76ers are a team that predominantly plays a lot of one-on-one basketball, they need isolation. And this time they give a quick isolation to Dawkins, who uses his quickness and foot speed. He's right at the basket before Craig Hodges can react, and it's a three-point play.
That gives Dawkins 8 on the night. It gives the Sixers a 2-point lead. Paxson and Cartwright getting ready to check back into the Chicago lineup. Percy Hawkins getting ready to come back in for Philadelphia. Jordan getting around everybody. He rarely misses that shot. And Charles Barkley is there with a rebound. Baseballs it down to Anderson.
The isolation, and again, they want Barkley to have a chance to make a play either on his own or inside. They double team him.
The horn. Only 3 seconds left to shoot it. Dawkins is going to have to force one up and drills it, just beating the 24-second clock. That's 10 for Dawkins, and the Sixers have built that lead back up to 4.
So what do you know about body language? When you see that hand fall down like that from a player shooting the ball, he feels it's good. It certainly was true to the mark.
Michael stepped on the line.
You see the ball movement from Charles Barkley. It's around the perimeter. That allows the defense to reset, but there's Dawkins. Now watch his hand on the follow-through. Money.
He brings it down with the Sixers leading by 4. 3:48 to go, first half. Here's that last dead ball. Hawkins checked back in. Mahorn gets a breather. Here's the guy that's had the hot hand for the Sixers throughout this quarter. First miss of the night for Ron Anderson. Michael Jordan the rebound. Pulls up, hits the 15-footer.
And you know about body language the other way. When the tongue goes out, you know something bad is going to happen.
The ball's going in. You got that right. 53-51. Sixers by 2. 3:15 to go. Anderson is the hot man. He's going to keep feeding him until he cools off, and that may be happening now. He's missed his last 2. Ball still belongs to the Sixers.
When you have to get your offense primarily from the outside, you don't want to necessarily quick shoot the ball. Anderson feels all of his shots are going to go in, as you see King go down hard on the inside.
Timeout with 3:11 left in the half. Sixers up by 2.
The Sixers and the Bulls will continue from Chicago Stadium in a moment. Hello again, I'm Craig Sager. Coming up at halftime, Cleveland coach Lenny Wilkins will have highlights of the Spurs and Blazers in double overtime and reaction from the Suns' victory over the Lakers. We'll also share a magical moment 10 years ago today and outtakes that never made the 2. And now back to Pete Van Weeren and Steve Jones.
Thank you, Craig. There's the time remaining. Philadelphia leading it by 2 in this first half. They are deadly serious about getting this thing back to the Spectrum on Friday night for a 6th game. But what a tough assignment. You're down 3-1. If you're going to win the series, you've got to beat Chicago twice in their own building and then once in your own building.
In order to win, though, you also have to have the ability to win on the road, so Philadelphia hasn't done that. In Cleveland, they weren't able to do it. They've got to prove to themselves they can do it. You see the field goal shooting. The 76ers have the advantage right now.
They have won a game in this building since back on March 7th of '89, a regular season game. They've lost 4 in a row here since then. Anderson gets it in to Dawkins. Dawkins trying to get around Paxson, does, and it pays. Johnny Dawkins with 7 in the quarter, 12 in the game. Sixers have built that lead back up to 4.
That's the kind of attacking attitude that Dawkins has to have. Knock the ball down from Stacey King on the double team.
Grant for 2. Horace Grant now with 8 points in the ball game. Philadelphia is Bulls lead is still there, but only by 2. Barkley hasn't even taken a shot in the second quarter. Of course, they've been giving the ball to the hot man Anderson. Jordan got fouled.
The play becomes available for Grant after the ball is not right back to him. And where the 76ers have problem defensively is with quick ball movement. Any kind of quick hitting play, they don't seem to react at the defensive end. The Bulls are able to get to the basket, either score the ball or get a second opportunity.
Jordan's first trip to the free throw line. Scottie Pippen coming back in, replacing Stacey King. Jordan now at 19. And if he makes this one, we're tied up again. He missed it. But the rebound is saved by Grant to Paxson to Pippen.
Here in this first half of play, in the second effort areas, it has been the Chicago Bulls that have been dominating the play. Big spin move by Cartwright over the top.
He caught Jaminski flat-footed there, and Chicago has the lead, 56-55, closing in on the 2-minute mark in this first half.
Isolation for Dawkins.
Jaminski answers on the other end. He's in double figures now with 10. Philadelphia has the lead back by 1.
Cartwright is not a good passing center, but he's good working against a mismatch. He had that against Barkley, an easy 2 off the window.
He has 8 points in the game. It's 58-57. Chicago up by 1. A minute and a half to go in the half. Jaminski will try from the same spot and hit it again. Jaminski has 12.
A 6'11" guard as he bangs away from the outside.
He can hurt you from out there if he gets hot out there.
That's a set play. They want to isolate and then allow the defense to react.
Bill Cartwright has come alive. 10 points in the half. Chicago by 1. See if they go back to Jaminski out there again. This time it'll be Dawkins, and Dawkins drills it. This thing going back and forth like a tennis match. 61-60. Philadelphia by 1, under a minute to go in the half. Underneath Michael. George delayed back to Chicago.
I wanted him to realize he's still in his house. He's got a big period going as well. 9 in a period, 21 on the night.
Bulls by 1, 40 seconds to go in the half. And a foul is going to be called on John Paxson.
Chicago personal foul 5. John Paxson, his first penalty. Returning.
Cartwright with the mismatch against Barkley realizes it, gets himself in a good spin position down on the box and just goes off the glass. So you can see he's attacking the basket. He's real aggressive now at the offensive end, fired up, making some things happen. And Johnny Dawkins trying to quiet the crowd at the other end, picks up the foul against John Paxson.
He's now 3 out of 4 from the line. He has 15 points in this first half. We're tied at 62. Once again, the lead goes back to the Sixers. Brad works against Mahorn. Off to Paxson. Back to Scottie Pippen. Trying to get it into Cartwright. Tipped away by Jaminski. Here's Dawkins trying to beat Michael. Stripped away by Jordan. Recovered by Pippen. Unbelievable defense from an unbelievable player. The Bulls playing for a final shot. They turn it over.
Just a little miscommunication right down there. Jordan made a tremendous hustle play at the other end. The Sixers are now going to use their 22nd timeout in this period. Dawkins had the ball and looked like he was going to have a chance to go coast to coast, as he is very quick with the ball, and Jordan gets a hand down right on top of it, knocks it away, and comes back the other way.
A 22nd timeout being taken here by Jimmy Lynam as he tries to design a play, and there's not much you can design with 2.8 seconds. In fact, that rule comes into effect, the 3-second rule, after that New York-Chicago thing happened earlier in the year.
Well, it's actually
got to be an alley-oop play.
It's 0.3 of a second, so there's still plenty of time. 2.8 seconds.
That's right.
Here.
I'm sorry, I was reading the clock wrong. You're right.
That's all right. You picked Phoenix. I'll let you have one.
I read the decimal point wrong. So we'll see what they come up with.
They got a long ways to go at the Bulls' end of the court, so they've got to make a couple of quick passes and try to get the ball in the air, or one long pass. Here it comes.
And it comes to Mahorn. Mahorn will launch one. Won't go. Pippen pulls away the rebound, and the horn sounds end the half. We are at halftime at Chicago Stadium. It's been a seesaw affair, but the Sixers are holding on to a one-point lead, 63-62.
It's halftime at Chicago Stadium, but the Sixers leading the Bulls by 1. Hello again, I'm Craig Sager, along with Lenny Wilkins. Welcome to the Prudential Halftime Report. Hey, Coach, only one game tonight. Looks like it will be decided in the second half.
It's a good game so far. As we predicted early, it's going to be a close game, and you're right, the second half will decide.
Well, in addition to our coverage last night of the Pistons' victory over the Knicks and the Suns' elimination of the Lakers, we followed through on our bonus coverage of the Spurs and the Trailblazers. When those two went to double overtime, our doubleheader became a triumvirate. And for those who went to bed early, Lenny, what happened?
Well, I'll tell you, Portland got off to a great start. They were just playing really well, and Terry Porter, who had 38 points, hits a three-pointer here to get the game going. But all of a sudden, San Antonio's defense starts to pick up. And here you see Dave Wingate steals the ball, which leads to a 13-0 run. Reggie Williams goes in, David Robinson rebounds and gets the stick back.
Of course, Robinson playing had 27 points, 15 rebounds. He doesn't have to worry about Kevin Duckworth, who's missing the series.
Well, he really didn't. And here, San Antonio's down by 3. David Wingate makes a big three-pointer to tie the game. And then later on, as you'll see, they'll go into a really good half-court defense, stop the other team, and get the ball out and go into overtime.
And the excitement was just beginning at that point. Now a game of attrition, just 2 starters left for San Antonio when Robinson picked up his 6th foul.
Well, that's right. The play before, you see Clyde Drexler foul out. Right here, you see David Robinson foul out, and then 4 more guys foul out, and you're right, it becomes a game of attrition.
The game lasted 3 hours and 12 minutes. Portland had a chance to win it in the first overtime, but they couldn't get the shot off. A good double team by San Antonio. And then in the second overtime period, finally Portland pulled away.
Well, I tell you, it was a great shot there by Petrovic. There was 1 second left on the 24-second clock, 54 seconds left in the game, and that put them up by 6, which really made the difference.
Tell you what, if Game 6 is anything like Game 5, you don't want to miss it. We'll have it for you tomorrow night, right here on TNT.
In the game, and down the stretch won the game, and that kind of set the stage for what happened. And as they went into the last game, it was just unbelievable because the Suns would not quit. A lot of miscommunication by the Lakers. Here they miscommunicate on the last play. Larry Drew is supposed to receive the ball off of the screen magic set, and he does not read it, and the ball goes out of bounds with the last chance to win the game.
And obviously Magic not at all pleased with what happens right here. The Lakers are derailed. The Cotton Express rolls on.
Thank you. I had great players, and they did a great job for me, and they never gave up. They just kept playing hard, and every time the Lakers kept coming, we kept coming back, and it would have been an easy night for us to lay down and say, well, let's go back to Phoenix, we'll win it there in 6. But they didn't believe that. They believed they could win it here tonight, and they did.
More than disappointment. It's an emotion that, it's really hard to explain. It's a state of shock.
You respect anybody that beats you because I feel we're a great team. And they were better. And me and Eddie go way back since high school. So, I congratulated them, all of them. They did a great job. You got to be a man in defeat, and you congratulate and you move on.
Magic moves on to something new, a vacation in May. Historians tend to group years into decades as a point of reference, and it was 1 decade ago tonight that the script for the Lakers had a different ending. Game 6 of the NBA Finals, rookie Magic Johnson, the center of attention.
Well, he certainly was. That was the game where he had to play center because Kareem was out hurt, and he jumped center against Caldwell Jones. It was a great game. Magic was all over the place here. You see a young Magic Johnson. He looked to shoot the hook shot, and that's really when he unveiled shooting the hook shot, when everybody began to notice it. Magic had a great game. It was a great series.
Chuck Daly, the assistant coach at the time with Billy Cunningham, couldn't believe what he was seeing.
No, they really couldn't. And, you know, Magic just really set the whole tempo for the game. He was everywhere, and Philadelphia really never adjusted.
Magic Johnson, the first rookie to be named MVP of the finals. He had 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. The Magic Touch also extends to endorsements. We'll have our version of America's Funniest Home Videos in a moment.
Making it great inside the NBA. Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Welcome to Inside the NBA. Celebrity, the advantage of being known by those who don't know you. In the world of advertising, this means immediate identification and credibility. And Lenny, as a celebrity, what products have you been asked to endorse?
Well, I'll tell you, I did a few, Craig. I was with a budget rental car up in the Seattle area. I was with a bank up there, and also Coca-Cola. So I did a few, but I never got the kind of money that they get today. I mean, it's outstanding today.
Well, I tell you, to the companies who pay the athletes, among them the Nikes, the Minute Maids, and the Kuppenheimers, this is serious business, although the taping sessions don't always go as planned.
Man, first, yeah. The Converse weapons, that's the shoe that Magic do what he was born to do. That's not all. They let Isaiah 10 feet tall.
Slim twin. Slim twin.
Got a narrow head.
Yo, money, why you leave me hanging? Yo. Oh. You walk, man, you walk. Traveling.
Go. Oh, I got shot 80 times.
Mark it. Mark it, Mike. 5.
Mark, I heard Converse made a pair of bird shoes for last year's MVP.
Yep.
That may be so, but that's not all. They let Isaiah play like he's 10 feet tall.
Mr. Director, we need a new script because we're getting awfully tired of doing that.
And here's the price of fame. The NBA's endorsement kings, Michael Jordan getting $6 million. Lenny, I think he's getting more than that. I think that's a conservative estimate because he gets paid for every pair of Nike Air Jordans that are sold.
Well, I got one for you, Craig. You know who's responsible for all this?
Who?
Commissioner David Stern with his whole marketing concepts.
Well, it's working very well. Now let's go back to Pete Van Weeren and Steve Jones.
Okay, thank you, Craig and Lenny. There's your score, 63-62 Philadelphia. Not unusual to see Philadelphia leading, Steve, at some point in a playoff game with Chicago. The problem has been for the Sixers, closing them out. The Bulls have always come back when they've been down in the second half.
They've had trouble holding on to those leads, but they're in a better posture when they're ahead. And I think they're a team that has trouble playing from the rear, so it's better for them to be in that position. It's only a 1-point lead, but it gives them heart to say, hey, we might have a chance to win the ball game tonight. I think that makes all the difference in the world.
We were talking all during the first half about the rebound story. That's the way it looked coming into this game. The Bulls had the lead offensively in total. The Bulls have the lead offensively tonight, but they still trail by a point.
Not supposed to happen because they have one of the best rebounders in Charles Barkley, but they've had more people with greater activity out on the board, and that's made the difference for the Chicago Bulls. A lot of activity and guys that can take the ball to the basket. Scottie Pippen was huge in that first period and second period as well to lead the Chicago bench production. Philadelphia got a great push from Ron Anderson to give them a total, but it was Pippen who came in very aggressive at the offensive end to change the complexion of the game. Down by 7, he came in and went to work.
And the production from Bump and Thump for Rick Mahorn and Charles Barkley. You can see in the first quarter they contributed a lot. 14 points, 5 rebounds. Those numbers in the second quarter could be a little misleading because of the hot hand of Johnny Dawkins and Ron Anderson. They were basically going to those two guys throughout most of quarter number 2. And, of course, a game without Michael's stats.
Well, the bad story is he's got 21 at the intermission, and he's shooting the ball extremely well from the perimeter, so he's going to be tough to control as we move down the stretch of the ball game, trying to get Horace Grant involved.
Don't forget, Michael also rested for 6 minutes in that first half. Barkley loves to shoot those three-pointers, but Didn't do it that time.
For Barkley, when he's in an open court situation, I think he's got to be aggressive and attack the basket, try to make something happen off the dribble. That will cause him to get to the free throw line, make it real difficult for the Chicago Bulls to control him.
Here's Jordan, Pippen, Paxson, Cartwright, and Grant out on the court. That's normally the starting lineup. King started out ahead of Pippen. Down to 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Wouldn't go. Percy Hawkins the rebound and threw it away. The turnover gives the ball right back to Chicago.
It's hard to clap, and that's what Jim Latham is trying to do right now, encourage his team. They did everything right except get the rebound and push it out. They throw it out of bounds. Chicago reloads for another opportunity.
Only 6 turnovers for the Sixers. Michael Jordan, 23 points. The 13th lead change we've had in this game, and they all took place in the second quarter until now. Bulls by 1.
Hawkins is also a guy that has to get into the mix. He has had a sporadic first half of play. Isolation, Barkley.
Around Grant, coming over to help out was Pippen, and they foul Charles Barkley.
Chicago personal foul 54, Horace Grant. His third.
The 76ers are a one-on-one basketball team, and they like to give isolation to people that have the ability to put the ball on the floor and attack the basket. Horace Grant does not keep Charles Barkley from getting to the basket. First time at the line for Barkley tonight.
What did Chicago coach Phil Jackson say about Charles Barkley earlier today? I don't really like having to go and play Charles when he's got his back to the wall. I don't think many guys like having to play Charles when he's facing that wall.
You know, we haven't said anything about these teams and their sneakers. Last year with the Chicago Bulls that pulled the black tennis shoes out of their bag. Tonight the Sixers are taking a page, and it looks like the team that scouted it first has got an advantage.
Philadelphia now 9 of 13 from the line as Barkley missed them both. And Chicago can take a 3-point lead here. A near steal by Hawkins. It goes off him out of bounds. It still belongs to Chicago with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Chicago 1 win away from meeting Detroit. Philadelphia needs to win it to take it back to Philadelphia. That's for 3 from Scottie Pippen. He has 19. And the Bulls have a 4-point lead. That is their biggest lead of this ball game. Jaminski trying to find that hot spot out of the top of the circle. He hit 3 in a row from out there in the second. He hits his first effort here in the third quarter. He has 14.
For Jaminski and Chicago, normally you want to see some sort of cut to the basket as John Paxson took a real tough shot in the corner.
It comes back to Paxson. He tries to get by Dawkins and dishes off underneath to Grant. Horace Grant in double figures now with 10. Bulls up by 4. Stolen. Pippen to Michael. Paxson looks inside. Again, he tries to beat Dawkins. This time on the way up, he was fouled.
You'll see the contact from thump or bump. In that case, he thumped and he bumped, and John Paxson is telling the official, did you see that forearm I took?
Third foul has just been called on Dawkins. Underneath, and the give and go to Pippen. Pippen couldn't get it to go. Barkley a rebound. Philadelphia down by 4. There's Dawkins trying to beat Paxson this time down the court. And a whistle. Foul's going to be called on John Paxson, his second.
John Paxson is second. The team's
Second team foul. 9:14 to go in the third. Paxson got hammered on one end and got a kind of a ticky-tacky foul called on him this time. Dawkins works on him again and turns the ball over as Cartwright steals, leads Paxson. Paxson couldn't save it.
Which team has a more aggressive posture to the Chicago Bulls? They have really gotten after Johnny Dawkins at the point of attack, made it difficult for him to get into the middle and make some things happen. So they've toughened it up, and they've really given Paxson some help off the ball.
The Bulls have just turned it over for the 7th time. Philadelphia down by 4. Percy Hawkins has not been heard from much tonight. Jaminski left uncovered. Couldn't get it to fall. Another rebound for Horace Grant. His 5th. Off to Michael Jordan. For 3. 6 points for Jordan. Chicago leads by 7. Timeout, Philadelphia.
The 1990 NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealership today. And by Royal Caribbean. A Royal Caribbean cruise is lots of different vacations in one. Royal Caribbean, it's all here.
Pete Van Weer and Steve Jones back with you from Chicago Stadium. The Bulls have their biggest lead of the night as they try to wrap up this best-of-7 series, 72-65 Chicago.
You're always concerned about a team defensively when nobody comes to the guy that's guarding the ball, particularly when he's as dangerous from all areas out on the floor as Michael Jordan is. The defense for the 76ers has been very soft since the intermission. They've got to get into it. You see the reaction of the crowd here at Chicago Stadium. They think that they have reached the moment of truth, and they very well may have. If the Philadelphia 76ers do not come out and answer the challenge that the Bulls have thrown down in front of them, this ball game could be over here in the next 4 minutes of play.
The winner of this series goes on to meet the defending champion Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals, which will begin Sunday, no matter when this series ends. Unless this series goes 7. The noise in Chicago Stadium you can literally feel. Very important moment for the Sixers. To get some momentum back. Barkley takes it over Grant. Wouldn't go. Another Chicago rebound. 5 rebounds tonight for Bill Cartwright. He also scored 10 points in the first half. He is back tonight.
And where have all of the 76ers opportunities come from? From the perimeter.
Michael gives to Pippen. Scottie Pippen open for the jumper. There's 5 in the quarter, 21 in the night. It's a 9-point Chicago lead. Philadelphia better get something going. Mahorn almost had that one stolen away from him. Hersey Hawkins launches one from outside. Wouldn't go. Kept alive by Grant. Loose ball picked up by Hersey Hawkins. Johnny Dawkins dishing off to Barkley. He couldn't handle it. A turnover gives it to Grant. Grant to Michael. Shovels it to Paxson.
The team in white has been the aggressor here since the second half has started. They've dominated play at both ends of the floor. Grant turns that one over. The 76ers have not been able to generate any offense because they're not moving. They're standing out on the floor. They're settling for the first opportunity. Near steal by Michael Jordan. But out of that comes nothing for the 76ers in white.
Sixers have only 2 points in the third quarter. They've been outscored 12-2 by Chicago. Bulls lead it by 9. Ron Anderson, who had the hot hand for the Sixers in the first half, is checked back in. And Michael picks him up.
Both teams were shooting 60% or better at the intermission as they come back to Mike Kaminsky at the basket, trying to get something inside.
And this one is gone against Bill Cartwright, his second. 7 minutes to go in the third.
A coach loves a pitcher like that, where the players get together, they talk about what they have to do in order to stop the opponent, and you had the 3 frontline guys, Pippen, Grant, and Cartwright, all talking about that last lob play inside to Mike Kaminsky.
Another turnover, Paxson to Jordan. Listen to this place. Coaches who are watching, these fans mean it.
They certainly want to see the Detroit Pistons again in the Eastern Conference Finals. How do you answer aggressive play? You've got to be equally aggressive at the other end of the floor, and the Philadelphia 76ers have not done it. The challenge has been down to them. Do you want to play in the second half? So far, the answer is no, as the tongue comes out once again.
Bulls have outscored them 14-2 in this third quarter. After a first half which saw the lead change 12 times and saw Philadelphia lead throughout the first quarter. 6:45 to go in quarter number 3. Michael Jordan, 28 points. The only field goal hit by the Sixers in the third quarter, Mike Jaminski.
The 76ers are going to have to go to their main man right now. Charles Barkley is going to have to step up. He's going to have to answer the challenge. Does he want to extend the season for the Philadelphia 76ers? He's got to start making things happen.
And you called it when they called that first time out. You said this game could be over in the next 4 minutes unless somebody like Charles Barkley takes over and starts to make something happen. A 9-point lead. That's Barkley's first basket since the first quarter. He now has 12. Jordan has Anderson on. He'll take the jumper over him and hit it. 30 points for Michael. Barkley tripped up.
Quick, explosive move across the middle of Charles Barkley. And what he's got to do right now is keep his team close. He has got to carry the weight at the offensive end. He has got the ability to score inside and out. He's got to load that team up on his back and carry him. And that means he's really got to be forceful at the offensive end. He's got to ask for the ball, clear people out of the way. Their offense is an isolation offense. He's got to be the guy to get it done.
We have our first player in some foul trouble. Horace Grant just picked up his 4th, and Stacey King is going to come in and get him.
Ball game for Chicago, 34. Stacey King replacing.
So Grant sits down with 4 personals. He has 10 points. As he sits down, you see what Charles Barkley's performance at the line has been throughout the series. Not that good. He's only 1 for 3 tonight.
Well, he fell that. He shot his free throws better in game 4. They would have won that ball game. He gets 1 of 2. Jaminski gets a 2-point field goal out of it.
Jaminski has 16. It's an 8-point game. 5:50 remaining in the third. Jordan knows he can get that shot away over Anderson. He's taken it the last 2 times down there. This time it wouldn't go for him. Jaminski with his 4th rebound off to Dawkins. Dawkins fires it across to Barkley. Barkley has Pippen on him now.
They got the isolation again. It's going to get some help this time.
Looking for the open guard. Johnny Dawkins was open, but Barkley overshot him.
Barkley waits for the double team. Now the guy that's open is Johnny Dawkins, but he overthrows him, and it's a turnover against Philadelphia. Barkley
steals, throws it up for grabs. And Charles beginning to get that look in his eye.
Chicago ball.
Well, it's time to be a predator, and it's time to be all over the place because his team is down and down big, and they need someone to carry him through a tough stretch. They're down by 8, but they haven't really gotten into it as they were in the first 2 periods of play.
You see the time left in the third. They are checking with the 24-second clock operator, who has reset the clock at 24. Now they get it back to where it was when the ball went out, 16.
We'll reset the 24-second clock to 14.
Now it's down to 14. And that's where they'll leave it at 14 seconds. Stacey King over Jaminski. No, Barkley, another rebound. He is beginning to heat up. And look who's guarding him now.
Well, Jordan talking to Barkley, backs his way down, and misses a good chance.
Mahorn pulls it off the floor, blocked away by Pippen. Barkley picks up the loose ball.
The man who ate his Wheaties is telling him I had all ball on that one right there, but he's not going to win this, and Barkley's going to get to the line. You'll see the isolation to 2 of the NBA's best. Barkley misses, and it comes back to Rick Mahorn inside. He tries to get it up. It's knocked away. You make the call as Barkley sets and tries to power his way inside.
He makes the free throw. He's now 2 out of 5 from the line. Stacey King picking up his third personal. Barkley makes them both. He has 15 in the ball game. It's back to a 6-point game. So Philadelphia chipping away at that Chicago lead. And up to 11. Pippen has Barkley on him. Barkley seems to be all over the place on either end of the court right now. Pippen left unguarded for a moment, launches and hits one to the top of the circle. He now has 23 points. It's Chicago by 8, 4.5 to go in the third.
One of the reasons that Chicago's had so much success from the outside as we look at Dawkins' work for Rick Mahorn, they have a lot of daylight between themselves and the defenders, so they have plenty of time to air the ball out. You got to really get into them, make them try to shoot the ball on the move in order to shut down that accuracy.
Chicago by 6. Scottie Pippen having himself sun kind of night. 25 points for Scottie Pippen. It's an 8-point Chicago lead. And we're going to call a foul on Paxson.
Chicago personal foul, 5.
One thing that Coach Jimmy Lynam was saying about his performance, his team's performance, Steve, is that he felt in the second half of games the Sixers had gotten a little lax and are going into kind of a stall, waiting till too much time ran out in the clock, winding up taking bad shots. They've been a little quicker getting their shots away the last few trips down.
We talk about teams playing hard, and one of the ways that you can find out how hard a team is playing is how quickly they're moving the ball, how quickly they're moving themselves out on the floor. And when you're holding it, you'll see how they struggle, as we see how the 76ers have blown their leads against the Bulls.
They had an early lead in this one at the end of the first quarter. But some teams do tend, almost by habit sometimes, to play a little more conservatively when they get a little bit of a lead. Philadelphia's been much more aggressive since they got down by 11.
When you get a big lead, as Philadelphia's had in these ball games, you have a tendency to think that it's going to come easy and yet relax. You've got to stay relentless, keep the pressure on your opponent.
Chicago leading it by 6. Jordan draws the double team. B.J. Armstrong into the game, hooks it across to Pippen. This time it wouldn't go. Mahorn the rebound. And Philadelphia can get back to within 4. Anderson trying to find that stroke he had in the first half. Wouldn't go. There's Barkley fouling the way up. Scottie Pippen got him.
So after a couple of timeouts, Jim Lyon has finally gotten his team to get back into a competitive posture. Scottie Pippen picks up his second personal foul. But it has been Charles in charge that has made the difference. Probably mad because he's got to go to the line where he hasn't had a great deal of success.
Bob Thornton checks in. Mike Javinsky gets a rest. Javinsky sits down with 16. And Neely in for Bill Cartwright. Cartwright gets a nice hand. Barkley back at the line where he's 3 out of 6 tonight. He makes these two. It's a 4-point game. He is still having trouble from the free throw line. Jimmy Lynam, runner-up in the Coach of the Year balloting. He missed them both again. We can't understand that.
A psychological thing for Barkley at the line now, and he's beginning to aim the ball rather than go through his regular routine and just set and shoot.
Only 3 out of 8 from the line. And a foul has just been called away from the ball.
Philadelphia personal foul, 34.
Charles Barkley, his second. Pippen will inbound it from the near sideline. It's Pippen, Armstrong, Jordan, Neely now with it. Stacey King also out on the court for Chicago. Michael Jordan's been working on Ron Anderson this entire quarter. Works on him again. Didn't get the basket to fall, but he will go to the line. Let's take a look at the Wendy's playoff summary. Just what's been happening. Portland, San Antonio, Game 6 tomorrow in San Antonio here on TNT. Pistons are already in their 4th straight year, going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Suns over the Lakers. Lakers' earliest elimination since '81, and for the first time since '79, the Lakers and the Celtics will not be appearing in the finals. Chicago 9 of 12 as a team from the line now. Michael Jordan having another big night. He's averaged 44 points a game in this series. He just stolen away from behind from Anderson. He is amazing. Up against Barkley. Anderson now picks him up. And the foul will be called on Anderson. He has stolen balls from the side, from behind, from in front.
The attitude of Georgia is he wants to end it tonight, and he's been very aggressive and relentless in everything that he's done. Missed that free throw, chased it down, got it back, came back trying to attack the basket, picks up the personal foul. The Bulls get a new 24, 2:50 left in the period.
One way of looking at it, if it does end tonight, if Chicago holds on to win it, they will get a few days to relax a little bit, maybe freshen up some legs for that series with Detroit, which would not begin until Sunday. Jordan to King. King over Barkley. Short. Rebound pulled away by Charles Barkley. His 12th rebound. He's been averaging 18 a game in this series. 2.5 to go in the third. Chicago up by 7.
And the isolation work for Dawkins, they've been able to deny him a chance to get inside and nearly turn the ball over again. So once they have beat them at the point of attack at the defensive end, the 76ers have not had an answer. They've got to move the ball, move themselves, and get cutting to the basket.
Neely, who's been turning in one strong performance after another off the bench, has a steal by Pippen. And B.J. Armstrong brings the ball down, closing in on the 2-minute mark in the third. See if they give Michael a breather here. He's able to convert here. Stacey King for 2 more. Stacey King has 7 assists. Michael Jordan that time. Bulls by 9. A minute 50 left in the third. Neely say earlier today, I can't jump, but if I keep a body on my man, neither can he.
They double on Barkley. There's pressure all over the place. You see the Bulls nearly make the steal. 6 on the shot clock.
Hersey Hawkins takes it and hits the three-pointer. And that is the first field goal for Hersey Hawkins in this half. And the first three-pointer hit tonight by Philadelphia. And that was a desperation three-pointer with time running out of the shot clock. 85-79 Chicago, B.J. Armstrong. His first 2 of the night. Bulls by 8.
You can clearly see the difference in the defenses when the screen is set by the 76ers or someone on top and trying to force them to go the other way. That's not the story for the 76ers at the end of the floor.
Under a minute to go in the third. A 20-second timeout will be called here by Chicago. Do you think Michael will sit down here and get a breather for this final minute of the third quarter?
He may, but right now he is playing and playing very well. He may tell Phil Jackson he wants to stay in the ball game and see if they can't bust this thing open. They did have a controlling start in the ball game. Barkley was able to answer it, get it down to 6 points. Now the Bulls have become aggressors again and are trying to bust the game open.
I think they just changed this to a full timeout, so we'll get earlier plays in this third quarter.
Ball movement is trying to get good. A.C. King goes to the basket, gets the ball right in an area where he can go to work. You'll see the double team against corner to make a shot from an errant elbow.
It is 57 quarter coming up. It's Portland, San Antonio, game 6 of their series. This one will be in San Antonio, having a chance to wrap it up, or San Antonio, 7th and deciding game. Executives in attendance here tonight, and they really love that doubleheader last night, triple-header action, actually, with 2 games in one. Steve, you didn't have today, did you?
We've had a lot of excitement, and that's one thing at the NBA with a lot of exciting games, a lot of surprises. As I said before, I feel like I'm the only person that picked the Lakers to win out of the West as a Phoenix Suns. See 2 different conference finals with the Pistons and the Bulls.
Well, as we anticipated, breather here. Pete Van Weer and Steve Jones with you from Chicago Stadium. 57-76 87-79. Chicago leads it. If they win it, if Philadelphia, we go to a game 6 in Philadelphia. In the game now, Jordan of this third quarter. He still found King. King couldn't handle his pass. His last touch by Anderson still belongs to Chicago. They only have 8 seconds left in the shot clock.
Double team the ball, but the seam.
Strong. Got fouled on the way up. Charles Barkley has just picked up his third.
Charles Barkley.
Give some of these Chicago youngsters a lot of credit. B.J. Armstrong, rookie out of Iowa. Stacey King, rookie out of Oklahoma. Will Perdue, second-year player out of Vanderbilt. And they've contributed some valuable minutes off the bench in this series. And the previous series.
That was the Bulls' game plan to start this season, to somehow see these guys develop so that by the end of the season, there would be some friends for Michael Jordan as they got into the playoffs.
89-79, 10-point lead. There you see the time left. Hawkins thinking about it from three-point land. Dawkins puts the shot up. Scottie Pippen got a hand up, and that caused him to change the shot some. And as they battle for the rebound, a personal foul call underneath.
Notice the number of adjustments the offensive players had to make. That means that Chicago is challenging every pass, every shooting opportunity. Hawkins had one, had to make an adjustment, make the extra pass. Dawkins makes an adjustment in shooting the ball. Bob Thornton finally gets the rebound and gets fouled.
Neely picked up his third. Thornton at the line makes his first free throw attempt of the night. His first trip to the line tonight. 89-80, Chicago by 9. Thornton makes them both. It's an 8-point Chicago lead. Bulls will play for a final shot here in the third. Mostly baby Bulls on the court now. B.J. Armstrong had his shot blocked from behind by Dawkins. And that'll do it. Quarter number 3 has come to an end. Chicago could be just 12 minutes away from a meeting in Detroit. It's 89-81. Going to the fourth. 89-81, Chicago leading it by 8. They could be just 12 minutes away from winning this best-of-7 series as the NBA Commissioner David Stern looks on. Philadelphia needs to come back in this fourth quarter, Steve, and that is something that has been a real problem for them even when they've had the lead. They have been totally outplayed by Chicago in every fourth quarter in this series.
Now the challenge is in front of Jim Lynam and his team to be a different team. They have been in the first 4 ball games, and they've got to answer the challenge.
As you can see, they've been averaging being outscored by 10 points in the fourth quarter. In this series, 31-21. Hersey Hawkins tries to get him going in this fourth quarter. He was on the line, so that's only a 2-pointer, but the 76ers will take it. He has 11. It's 89-83. Michael Jordan losing it, getting it back. And he got a little fed up with the pressure being applied by Bob Thornton. Thornton called for the personal.
You see Thornton right here dogging Jordan all the way to the corner. Jordan gives him a little shot in the chest. You've got to recognize when you've got a player under control. He had him contained at that point and was trying to force him out of bounds. They ended up turning the ball over with the foul.
Stacey King to B.J. Armstrong. A little short. There's Michael for 2 more. 33 for Jordan. Bulls by 8. Hawkins for 3. Jordan the rebound. His 5th rebound. Armstrong looking inside. Finds Stacey King. King had to change his shot. Good defense by Jaminski. Dawkins guarded by the rookie Armstrong. Jaminski couldn't get it to go. Neely the rebound.
One shot. That's what they're getting. And then they run the other way. Stacey King.
King with 9. Bulls by 10. 10:25 to go. Barkley's going to check back in.
The tone for the second half of play was set by the Bulls at the start of the third period, and they have made it real difficult for the 76ers to get the scoring opportunity that they want. Jaminski gets that one, but again, it's from the outside.
So, over Anderson. Looks like he's turned it up a notch in this fourth quarter, as he's been doing throughout this series. 95-85. 24 in the fourth in one game of this series. Dawkins keeps wanting to get that foul call. He got that foul call the last time down. Same thing happened last time down. Didn't get the whistle. He complained about it. This time he did get the whistle.
You see Michael Jordan follow the missed shot. It opens up for him, and he drives it down. And you can see the reaction, and B.J. Armstrong has done a great job of looking ahead. This time he finds a wide-open Stacey King. He drops it down with 2 hands.
95-85. Another whistle. Just Kersey away from the ball. Blows it this time. I think that's Neely again. It is. It's 4th.
You've heard me talk about all this business about challenges and whether a team is going to respond or not. The game is close by NBA standards. It's a 10-point game. But the psychological edge and dominance out on the floor belongs to the Chicago Bulls. They have controlled the game since intermission. The 76ers have not been able to become aggressive and change the complexion of the game. And that's what they're going to have to do in order to win it.
You saw Grant and Pippen check back in. Barkley working on Grant. King comes over to help out. They've got him trapped along the sideline again. And a 20-second timeout's going to be called here. And Charles getting a little frustrated. They've been doing that to him this whole series. He gets the ball near that sideline. They double team him over there, and he can't make a good pass to anyone.
But how do you beat this double team? You know it's coming. So you got to send a cutter. You got to move the ball before it gets in. Now Barkley waits too long before he decides he wants to make a pass. Now no one's available to him, so he can make a pass in an area where he doesn't think he's going to turn the ball over, and that's good defensive pressure by the Chicago Bulls.
And you can see the frustration mounting in Charles Barkley as this series continues, and the same defensive tactic continues to work against him.
If Barkley passes the ball and cuts to the hoop, he's going to be open. But he's got to be willing to get that ball up and not try to make that play so far out on the floor. Barkley over the top.
Wouldn't go. Rebound Jordan. Chicago with a 10-point lead. 95-85 Michael. He's taking over. He has 37 points, 6 of them in this quarter, and Jimmy Lynam wants a full timeout. And he'll get it here. 9:09 to go. The 76ers are running out of time. Chicago leading it. They are 1 victory away from clinching this series and going on to meet the defending world champion Detroit Pistons.
It's been a hard minute.
All you have to do is look at that man on the bottom, Michael Jordan, and the difference between his performance tonight and that of Charles Barkley. Barkley quarter. This man was taking over in the fourth.
That an aggressive offensive player against a passive defense. The defense waits too long to react to Jordan with the basketball. He's right at the basket, and he has a crowd here at Chicago Stadium waving those towels.
Anderson into Dawkins. It's Anderson, Dawkins, Jaminski, Hawkins, and Barkley. Barkley draws a crowd. Offensive foul is Charles' fourth.
Barkley had committed himself to the drive, made no adjustment, just tried to come right through Horace Grant right there. The ball goes in, but it's wiped away with the charge.
Stacey King works on Kaminsky. No. Rebound. Comes back to the Sixers. Dawkins picked up by Armstrong.
For the Philadelphia 76ers to come back because they have to work so hard for every scoring out. They're not a team 8 or 2.
He's him and he picked up. The line. Has had trouble at the line tonight. Only 3 out of 8. 16 points for Barkley. 97-86. Still plenty of time for the Sixers. Boy, it's going to be tough in this place.
Barkley has got to make a statement in the 4th period of play. In the 1st period, he dominated the score. Done less. Since that point.
8.5 minutes to go. Scottie Pippen's had a big game. Stacey King left all alone, but Barkley came over and got a hand up and just picked up his 5th foul. Now the Sixers are really beginning to stagger.
When you have to do things that you're not accustomed to at the defensive end, those are the kinds of breakdowns that result. They double team away from the ball. There's no rotation down deep. Stacey King trying to hammer it home. Gets Barkley to draw the foul. That will put Barkley on the bench for at least a couple of minutes here. Rick Mahorn comes in, and that means the guards are going to have to do the work. Anderson, Dawkins, and Hawkins are going to have to score big time, and they're also going to have to pressure the ball.
And this could be a key couple of minutes right here. Chicago could put them away with Barkley on the bench. 99-87, 8:18 remaining. Mahorn got a little fancy Dan dribble behind the back. It's stolen by Armstrong to Scottie Pippen. Pippen with 27. Chicago is pulling away. They're 14 points ahead.
And it's the aggressive defensive play of the Bulls that is making it happen. Forcing the turnovers, running it back the other way.
That shot is short. Another Chicago rebound. You're right, Steve. They are really having to work. And the shots they're taking, not particularly good ones.
They're all deep out on the perimeter. It's tough unless you shoot that high percentage like they did in that first half to stay close in the ball game. Another breakdown.
Grant with 12. Timeout, Philadelphia. 7.5 minutes remaining. It's 103-87. Honda leaders, the 1990 active playoff leaders. Michael Jordan, the leading scorer. Charles Barkley, the leading rebounder. Ron Strickland of San Antonio, the assist leader. Mark Westwood, a great series against the Lakers. Tops in field goal percentage. And Steve, you've talked all night about this aggressive defense of Chicago. And we're going to take another look at a play here where B.J. Armstrong showed a little aggressive defense.
Well, I guess the true Bulls don't like red, and they've been snorting all night long. And you can see that the baby Bulls have grown some horns as they attack Rick Mahorn, force a turnover, a good look down the other end of the floor. Now, how many times have we seen Armstrong look ahead, make the pass to an open man, Scottie Pippen with a second-story job. You'll see the defense for the 76ers. They're not used to doubling up. That leaves someone open at the basket. Turned out to be a Horace Grant high percentage shot. They're shooting over the basket. The 76ers are shooting 18 feet and out.
Bill Jordan, B.J. Armstrong, Stacey King, Scottie Pippen, and Horace Grant. That's a young unit on the court right now for Chicago. Hawkins, Anderson, Mahorn, Dawkins, and Barkley's back in there playing with 5 personals.
And they're willing to give Barkley all of those perimeter shots. They are inside, giving them one opportunity. Grant at the well.
Got fouled. Mahorn. Picking up his 4th.
King goes out out of the ball game. Cartwright comes back in. I'm sure the 76ers would love to see Cartwright in. That means they don't have that mobility, quickness up and down the floor. But at this point in the ball game, it makes little difference. They're down by 16 with all the momentum and control in favor of the Bulls.
13 points tonight for Horace Grant. He is turning into a pretty solid player. On his third year. Mahorn the rebound. 104-87. Closing in on the 7-minute mark. Somebody's got to get hot in a hurry if Philadelphia is to have any chance.
Problem again for Philadelphia is they're a one-on-one basketball team. They have to work extremely hard to get an opportunity. They're working against a defense that is very aggressive, denying positions, forcing them to go to spots they don't want to go. Jordan picks up the second foul.
And every trip down the court, they're not getting a shot off until there are 4 or 5 seconds left on that shot clock. That's how hard they're having to work.
And when you have to grind it out 24 seconds at a time, it's very difficult to come back. You have to hope that the opponent is going to be shooting the ball from the perimeter. They're going to be missing. There's going to be some breakdowns. That has not happened for the Bulls. Charles Barkley signals they want to trap after the Anderson free throw.
104-88, Anderson with 15, 104-89, Anderson with 16. In contrast, let's see how long it takes Chicago to get a shot away here. They've been very quick down the court. They've been very quick to find the open man. Grant got fouled.
Pete Van Wieren, that basket. You're very good. I should have listened to you and picked the Suns. They are right there on the money. They are the tap the press. B.J. Armstrong has done a great job of seeing the floor, making the plays at the right time. Horace Grant right back at the basket. He's on the line.
Pete Van Wieren, Steve Jones with you from Chicago. Tell you what we're going to do. If this score keeps going like it is, and it's 105-89 now, Chicago. When we get down to about 30 seconds to play, let's you and I just sit back and take in the atmosphere here, because this city's going to be celebrating. They want a rematch with the Detroit Pistons. It looks like they're going to get one. 105-89. Mahorn couldn't get it to fall. The tip is good. Rick Mahorn. He has 8. But it's still a 14-point Chicago lead. With just over 6 to go.
They got to be able to force some turnovers.
It's unbelievable. Anytime a man's been open, either Michael or B.J. Armstrong has found him here in this fourth quarter. 17 points now for Horace Grant, a 16-point Chicago lead.
In order for a trap to be effective, the guy has got to get there. And what Chicago's done is move the ball before the double team. Mahorn again.
Mahorn plowed over B.J. Armstrong that time. Got the jumper to fall. He has 10.
You see only one guy down at the other end in red, and that is Johnny Dawkins. The rest of the 76ers have retreated.
Right up against Mahorn, has the ball stripped away, but it comes into the hands of Grant. Out to B.J. And the first 24 on the clock. Scottie Pippen finds Michael. Now Chicago using a little clock. Open is Grant for 2 more. Horace Grant, 19 points, 9 of them in this quarter, a 16-point Chicago lead. Closing in on the 5-minute mark. Hawkins tries one from 3-point land. Won't go. B.J. Armstrong the rebound.
It has been the balanced attack of the Chicago Bulls, led by Michael Jordan, that has been a difference. Pippen flies to keep it alive.
You can see who has the legs here in the fourth quarter. And you've got a 16-point lead, and you're 1 win away from advancing to another round of the playoffs. The legs are a lot fresher. Cartwright. Barkley had to go around him. He's playing with 5 fouls. For the Chicago rebound. Grant to Scottie Pippen. They are putting on another fourth quarter clinic. 111-93.
Two things have happened. They've taken the 76ers out of it at the offensive end. The 76ers don't have the kind of defensive pressure that turns the ball over.
Here we are now to 6 seconds left on the shot clock again before they can find an open man. Ron Anderson. They're never going to catch up doing that. 18 points for Anderson tonight.
Since they're shooting from the perimeter, they may as well go to a three-point attack and start shooting three-point field goals and hope that they can catch up that way. Dawkins steal.
For the steal, it's 111-95. Down it comes to Anderson. Anderson lays in 2 more. He's had a good game off the bench for the Sixers. He has 20. A 14-point lead. There's still time. 3:35 remaining.
Confusion by the Sixers. They wanted some pressure on the ball. You see Hawkins. You see how passive he is defensively. You're not going to turn the ball over against the team that has control. They're able to get the cutter wherever they want. Armstrong turned it over trying to make a cut.
So now it goes back to the Sixers. Tomorrow night, TNT, 8 o'clock Eastern time. The Trailblazers, the Spurs, game 6 of their series. Portland leading it 3-2. We'll join everybody for that. 111-97, Chicago leading it with 3:24 remaining. If Chicago wins it, they go on to meet the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals.
We talked about pressure on the passer. You hear him talk about it a lot in football. When a quarterback has plenty of time to spot a receiver, you get good results. Horace Grant is the guy that's in the middle receiving the ball. No pressure on the passer. No one around Grant. Back-to-back hoops. He's had a huge fourth period, and every one of these Bulls has had a part of the success tonight. Dawkins.
Could not get it to go. Another Chicago rebound. Cartwright. B.J. Armstrong getting some significant minutes in this game. Scottie Pippen to Grant. Armstrong left hand covered. Hits the open jumper. Armstrong with 6. 113-97, under 3 minutes to go.
And the Bulls have not stopped challenging. You see Cartwright jump out on Dawkins. No one-on-one there. Back outside, and they're not looking to get the ball to Charles Barkley.
And Armstrong comes over to help out Pippen and Anderson. Down to 6 seconds on the shot clock again. Mahorn really had to fight for that shot. Wouldn't go. Boy, the defense has been outstanding for Chicago in this final quarter. 113-97. Closing into the 2-minute mark here at Chicago Stadium.
We said at the start of the ball game, the 76ers had to have some poise and some patience. They had to be able to play against an aggressive defense. They haven't been able to answer the challenge that was set at the top of the third period. Chicago is going to win this ball game going away.
2 minutes to play in the game. 2 minutes.
Look at the ball movement. Look at him use the clock. Now they'll get close to running out of time on a travel.
You want to know when you have a game won? When nobody wants to shoot. You want a shot? Now, I don't want it. I had this shot. I've been making them all night long.
You also know you haven't won when Phil Jackson's got that look on his face. A timeout. 113-97. Bulls leading with a minute 52 to go. No timeout. Dawkins. Anderson launching one from out in three-point country. Won't go. Nobody underneath. But Chicago Bulls now. The Sixers know they're beaten. They're closing in a minute 34.
Well, Pete, I think they knew they were beaten in the first 4 minutes of the third period as Jim Lynam now begins to send some people in the ball game.
He's got Leonard Copeland getting ready to check in. Cartwright going up. Got fouled by Mahorn. Mahorn is fouled out. And will walk off the court for the last time in 1990.
Philadelphia personal foul 44, Rick Mahorn.
Mercy Hawkins. This one's over, folks. Kenny Payne checks into the lineup. Leonard Copeland checks into the lineup. It'll be Cartwright at the line.
Cartwright shoots 2.
And let's give some respect to Rick Mahorn and the 76ers. They've had a great season, and he has done a great job of helping them get to the top of the Atlantic Division, but they ran across a team that's hungrier with a greater player in Michael Jordan with great ball movement. They dominated this series and showed that they want a rematch, and maybe it's graduation for them against the Pistons.
Cartwright hits them both. He has 12. A minute 20 to go. This place is going to be up for grabs very soon. Payne, Nymphius is in there. Scott Brooks. Brooks going to drive. at Chicago. They're still playing defense and still rebounding.
They're relentless. They don't want to give them anything, and they have got them at a number 97, which they seem to want to hold. We're down to 58 seconds and counting.
Armstrong is going to dribble some time off the clock. Got Cartwright. Grant has had a big game tonight again. Rebound is out of bounds off Payne. Ball still belongs to the Bulls. Here comes Daly. Cartwright sits down. Grant sits down. A great team performance tonight by the Chicago group. B.J. Armstrong. No. King couldn't hold on to the rebound. We had a whistle.
Philadelphia.
And a foul called against Kenny Payne.
In the games that Philadelphia controlled, they were not able to keep Chicago's bench or secondary players from coming in. You see Barkley's game tonight, it went downhill. He was not able to get enough help from his friends tonight. Anderson had a huge ball game, but they didn't get anything from Percy Hawkins, Rick Mahorn, and you see the look on Jim Liner's face as he has resigned. So what is going to happen here for them this year?
Always a very difficult moment to get this far. Very empty feeling. Closing in on 30 seconds. We're going to lay out and let you listen to the Chicago Stadium crowd as the Bulls are headed for Detroit.
Chicago personal foul, 45 at Neely. Yes,
Neely picked up the Smith foul. So we now know who 3 of the 4 finalists will be in these NBA playoffs. Tomorrow night we may know who the 4th one will be if Portland beats San Antonio. If San Antonio wins that one, it goes to a 7th game. TNT tomorrow night, 8 o'clock to find out. First-year coach Phil Jackson breathing easy for the first time in a week.
You can't tell whether this man is happy or worried about what's going to happen next. You know, that's always the nature of a coach. Once they win a game, it's a short chance to celebrate because they got to worry about the next opponent.
Let's just listen to this crowd.
Philadelphia ball.
Chicago has won this best-of-7 series 4 games to 1, holding Philadelphia to just 36 second-half points. We'll be back.
Playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the NBA. When it's Miller Lite, less filling really tastes great. By Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealership today. And by Royal Caribbean. A Royal Caribbean cruise is lots of different vacations in one. Royal Caribbean, it's all here.
The Chicago Bulls have eliminated the Philadelphia 76ers. Michael Jordan continues his phenomenal play with 37 points.